Let's go ahead and dig in. The first thing you're going to see is the home screen. All right. And it's going to tell you the number of leads, if it's currently running, any activity, and total runs that you've done for the day. You also have your start run button, your configuration, and where you can export the leads. Okay, so if we go to the configuration, we can go here or we can go up here. This is where you're going to put in your Google Places API key or your Google Maps API key. All right, now you get $300 worth of credits, so it will last you for a long time. But you go ahead and put that in there and it'll let you know when it's configured. And if you want to set default locations, like you know you're always going to pull plumbers, then you could do that. All right. Now you can see here it accepts city, suburb, neighborhood, or zip code. We recommend that you do this by zip code. You're going to get a more granular search and you're going to be able to get more. All right. We have a way to throttle this. We've got a throttle configuration guide to tell you how to keep it safe. All right. This is not a deal where you're going to be able to scrape 5,000 leads a day or anything like that. It is designed for safe scraping to get the leads that you need. All right, around 50, 75 leads a day probably is all you're going to need when you start doing analysis on them and targeting and stuff like that. You also have, so you can either leave this blank or you can do some settings in the Run Now button, which we're going to go over. You also have this Uptime Robot, which is an external service, and you have the URL that you can feed to the Uptime Robot. And what it'll do is it'll go ahead and it'll schedule this automatically if you want to do that. And we have the instructions in the user guide. All right, so if you want to go to Run Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave, just go ahead and we'll leave this blank. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave these settings fine, and I'm going to enable user rotation. That way we don't get detected. Okay, and again, if I want to throttle, you can see how we can set that up, but I'm going to leave the default settings. That's going to be fine for now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say plumber. And I'm going to do, like, there's a zip code in Las Vegas, the one I used to live in, 89120. And we'll just say maximum leads. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to get 50 leads all the time. Every time, that means it'll get up to 50 leads. So we'll see if we can do plumber. I'm going to start the run. Okay, you can see that I've got total runs. It's starting to do the run. And then I have the log settings, and it's going to run whenever I have leads. I can export the leads, and it's going to look like this, basically. Okay, so you've got the name, the email. It only does emails. Okay, it won't do, like, if it doesn't have an email, it's not going to scrape it. So that's kind of the beautiful thing. And then you've got the address and all that type of stuff. Okay, so that is pretty much how it works. You can clear the history and you can run this a couple of times. You've got the detail if you wanted to click on the detail. And really, that's all there is to it. It's just really designed to create and get you enough leads so that you have steady lead flow.